welcome to today's podcast. We're going to do, we wanted to do a little debrief podcast on our recent retreat. So in June, we ran our Creating a Confident You retreat, and I was really keen on doing a podcast on things that we loved and learned about a luxury retreat, basically. So this is our little debrief chat. So if you were at the retreat, this is a little walk down memory lane. If you are thinking of coming to one of our retreats, you'll get a bit of an insight about what's to come.
And who we are.
And
well.
So
we're going to have a casual conversation about the things we loved and learned.
So if you haven't watched anything before, my name's Hayley. I'm a manifestation coach.
And I'm Candice, and I am a beauty therapist who loves to help everyday women create makeup that suits them, makes them feel really, really good.
Yeah. So we ran our retreat in June, like I said, and the idea of the retreat was we came across a lot of women who were lacking confidence in an area of their life. And so we wanted to do something for them that would make them feel special and more confident going forward, because we found that a lot of people were a little bit stuck in an area or were going through some sort of transformation, and they just needed that little boost of confidence. And so we came together and decided to run a day retreat. And it was where I used the term I couldn't put into words how I felt about it. We really loved the retreat. It was such a great success, and our guests loved it. And we're already buzzing because we can't wait to do our next one, which will be in October this year. So yeah, let's just, I guess, kick off with some things that we loved and learned about our first luxury retreat. So the first one for me was that the space matters, where you hold the retreat, so the venue. So we had a luxury venue in Mullaney, situated on 35 acres, and it was perfect. It was perfect. So from a manifestation point of view, there was a lot of space. So when you have a lot of physical space, it creates a lot of emotional and mental space, and that allowed people to breathe. They didn't feel like there was any pressure. They weren't crammed together. So
there's also that element of privacy in that space, that it was like you have actually left your life to be able to retreat and come into yourself and do that alone, but together with other women who are like-minded, I guess.
Exactly. And it was very private because the house is situated beside a lake, and it's in the middle of the property. So you can't really see any other houses, and nobody is about to sort of walk past and look in. But
exactly.
It was perfect.
And
for
also
that.
like limited reception, which I think was actually an added bonus because you somewhat uncontactable, which the guests did mention that they liked that. They really felt like, okay, well, like, huh?
No gave them permission to switch off, which was nice. And so that the venue was really important, and our guests loved it. You know, they felt like walking into the door, they were wowed. They loved the view, they loved the space, and it also made it it was a very abundant feeling, I guess. They were like, oh wow, this is possible, and it gave them the thought that this is possible for me too. So I loved that about the venue. I thought it was really nice. So
same.
I liked it. I'm just thinking it was such a perfect space. It was really lovely.
I think I was mostly not surprised, but like I was saying before, the venue drew certain people in. I think there were people who said that it was actually the venue that kind of captivated them. What is this retreat going to be about? And I think I was a little bit surprised by that, in the sense that I knew the venue was going to contribute to the overall experience, but I didn't think it was going to be something that would necessarily draw people in. But it was definitely something that people were looking at when they were deciding whether or not they wanted to attend the retreat. Where's it being held? That was a on the checklist of people deciding whether or not they come. So I definitely learned that lesson. That next time we have to.
I think it definitely made people feel luxurious for the day. It was definitely stepping out of there. It was definitely stepping out of your normal comfort zone or routine or space to go, wow, this is really special. And it made people feel special on the day. And I think when people feel special, it opens up a different world to them, because it releases them from the pressures and the burdens of their everyday life, and they can see what is possible and allow themselves to feel a bit nicer on the day.
Just feel tea all over myself. Let's do with that. keep going.
So one of the other things that I liked about the venue, here we go. Just spilled some tea, nothing to see here. We are in the beautiful sanctuary space today. Got to keep it nice. The other thing I liked about the space, which we will be doing for future retreats, is the house itself was spacious enough that we could use all the different areas. So we had the first session was manifestation, and we had that in the lounge room. So there was couches and armchairs for people to sit on, and that was in front of the fire. So we sat around, we looked at the view, and then after that session we moved through to lunch, which was in the dining room. So we actually physically moved rooms and locations, and we're able to use all those different spaces. So I think the difference with other retreats is that in some venues you sit back at the same spot, and we never sat back at the same spot.
I think what I loved about that especially is because we did a lot of unpacking in that first space, and so when we actually got up and left it, we left that. We left it there, and it was symbolic. And it wasn't necessarily spoken about, but it was certainly felt. People were like, okay, cool, we're done with that bit there, we ended up planning at the table, remember? And so we had the kind of worksheets out, and people writing down and conversing about it. So that was really cool.
And it was lovely to have that option for moving around and using that space. And I think the guests, like you say, really loved it, because each time we moved into a new session, we moved into a new physical space. So that was really good. So we did lunch and planning at the table. And then we moved outdoors for your session, which was the makeup workshop. And that was, I guess, perfect for you because you had the natural light. So we were sitting in this beautiful sunroom with the natural light. We didn't have sort of the worry about, bad lighting in a room. It was great.
Yeah, exactly. And I also felt like it was a space to get creative in. Like it really did feel like it was holding our creativity as well. And so we were getting our hands dirty, and we were making a little bit of mess. And there was almost that freedom element within that area that we wouldn't have had that at the dining room table.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was really cool. We had another space to do that.
To play around with.
Yes.
Yeah. And then after that, we moved to the little seating area outside on the veranda for our photography session, where we did a little bit of posing techniques, and everyone was very loose by then in terms of we'd unburdened ourselves, and we were feeling good because we were looking good.
Everyone was friends.
And there was some real friendship bonds happening. And then we were able to actually enjoy and relax and take on board what Charlotte, our photographer, was talking about, which was the posing side of things. And sometimes I think
move our bodies,
physically move. Because sometimes I think the posing element could feel a bit silly if it was too early in the day. So I love that we did that at the end, because people were relaxed and they did feel like they knew each other and they were comfortable to do those poses.
I would say that was one big thing that really surprised me. Going into the retreat, I did think that portion of the day might have needed a little bit more, you can do this, a little bit more encouragement for people to just be themselves and open themselves up to this experience. But it was evident from the minute we got there, that group of women, like they were were ready, like, let's change our lives, let's do it together. They were cheerleading each other the whole time and holding space for each other. By the time we got to the photos, everyone was just models naturally. Everyone was like, right, show me how. I got
let's go.
And that was cool. That was a nice surprise.
And because of that, we got some amazing photos.
Oh, the photos were incredible.
So it was really,
and it was really nice to see people posting their photos. Like that felt like they were proud of what they had achieved on that day. And that was really special. I loved that.
That was really nice. So I guess the venue itself played a big part, and looking forward, having more retreats at this venue and other venues that reflect that same ethos and will have that same vibe as kind of what we're going for. It was really nice, because we do want to give people the most amazing experience, which leads me to point 2, which was the guest experience is paramount. So we wanted to have that as our intention for the day, that these ladies would walk away feeling their best selves, feeling like they got as much as they could out of the day. And so we did that
more than they expected.
We did get a lot of comments that it exceeded their expectations, which was lovely. But that was our intention. We wanted to personalize it as much as possible. So even beforehand, we did personal videos to them.
Yeah.
So each guest got a video from us before they attended. So they knew who we were and they had seen us and seen us interact.
And felt us in a way too, right? Because we were together. And I think sometimes when you go to something where people don't know what they're arriving to, I know for me, that's probably one of my bigger anxiety points is if I don't know where I'm going, how to get there, who's going to be there, I don't know what their energy is going to be like is it going to, how's that going to feel when I'm with these people? I think that was almost like a barrier that could have been dropped before the retreat, and maybe that's why they came in so open straight away.
True.
Right?
Yeah. So we did a video just like this for each participant that was personalized just for them. It told them how to get there, what to expect on the day. So they walked in and they were like, oh my gosh, it's you're just like on the video. So that was really lovely. That was really nice for us. We personalized the gift bags, we personalized the workbooks, and even little thing, dietary requirements was obviously personalized. And then our first session was personalized as well, because when we started, our guests started to unburden themselves, which was so lovely because they needed that space to be held and to let them they wanted to talk, so they finally had permission to talk and let go of that. And so we really embraced that, that was what they needed. And we worked everything else around that because that was key for them.
And that was something that we weren't necessarily expecting. And so it was really, really nice, I think, at the end of that to go, we were able to create that for people. And we were able to make sure that retreat held exactly what they needed on that day. And they all needed the same thing. They all needed that so much. So I think that was a good thing. A big thing for me walking away was like, we knew that everyone got what they needed out of that, just to cleanse that away from themselves.
I guess that's what we all need is just to be listened to. And that was something that we wanted to make sure we did. This was about them, making sure that they felt the best experience possible. So if that's what they needed, then that's what we gave them. So I really like that part of it. We made ourselves flexible enough to do that.
That was nice.
I guess, and the third point that I loved about running a luxury retreat was that when we started this process, a few people sort of had looked at us and sort of went, oh, okay, manifestation and makeup, that's a little interesting combination. But we knew it would work. We knew what we were going to do. We knew the result that we would get. And it was amazing to see that it came through and that people were like, wow, this really exceeded our expectation. You guys really knew what you were talking about. It fit together really well. We wanted to really make sure that the content that we were bringing was matched and was complementary, so the manifestation sessions, we were talking about what lights your fire inside, what gives you confidence, in terms of your goals, your lifestyle, all of those sorts of things. And then you went and did everything for the outside, making them feel like they could step out into that world like their best self.
And I think also, people often just need an upgrade in their lives, and I think that's sort of what that was about. You have your goals, you have your plans, you have your makeup, you have your go-to pose for a photo, whatever. You have all these things that is kind of like it makes you who you are. But then at some period in your life, you start to go through a transformation and you don't know how to do all of that again. And so it was like just upgrading what they already knew, or upgrading from something that maybe wasn't serving them anymore, or just upgrading and giving them somewhere to go from there. New start, new path, whatever it looked like. And that has to be internal and external, because you want to be your most confident, radiant self. And I think that you can't have one without the other.
Exactly. So, I agree. But I did love that our content worked so well together. It was really lovely. And even our guests were a bit wowed on how well it worked together, and they walked away. We had such good feedback and some lovely testimonials, and it was really a buzz to see that our idea worked and it came to fruition, and that, we changed these people's lives, and they felt really good when they walked away. So that was lovely.
The testimonials and the feedback have exceeded my expectations too, I must say. I knew, I could feel that they enjoyed themselves, and I knew what we had created and achieved. But when we actually did receive the words from everybody, and it wasn't like we were receiving the words like directly after, that buzz usually starts to wear off a little bit. We were receiving those words a little while after the retreat, and you could feel the buzz there still. Like that was, and that's cool because you know that that's impacted their life, not just their day. It wasn't just like a really fun day. It was like this is change. And that's what we wanted. We
exactly. You know, I mean, it is lovely to go and have a fun day and a beautiful experience, but it's even better when you can walk away feeling different and knowing that that's going to change you. So that was really nice. Did you have any other thoughts on the day that
I mean, lots, but how long have we got? No, I think we've covered everything. What about you?
No, I'm just looking forward to doing it.
I know. Yeah. I'm really glad to. I really loved also that we walked away from it with interest. Like people are asking us when the next one was, but also people who had missed out on this one have actually reached out to find out when the next one might be, or if we're running a next one, or that's cool because that validates what we're doing too, right? Like it wasn't just the people who came that had an incredible experience and it was just done. It's like we created a cool buzz around this, and people actually want to be a part of it, and there is already a wait list ready for the next one. So
that was up to us to pick a date.
Yeah, exactly. So we'll do that soon.
So we're talking October. If you are interested, please let us know, because we do need to find a venue based upon numbers.
The perfect venue.
Perfect venue. Sorry. There are some amazing venues out there, but we do obviously have a soft spot for our venue. So if you are interested, let us know. But I hope this has helped. I hope it's given people a bit of an insight into what we did on the day. If you are thinking of running a retreat yourself, maybe you've got some tips from that. Learn from our experience.
We'll make sure we keep doing this as well.
Exactly. I think this is really nice. Great.
Yeah.
All right. Otherwise, you can catch Candice over at sanctuary.com.au. And I'm at hayleymill.com.au. No AU, sorry, .com. But I'll put all the links down the bottom. Okay, thanks everyone.
See ya.